Good morning, everyone. How are you today? I'm just going to pick up right quickly where we left off on last week. Okay, so we were working with percentages, right, on last week. Now, there's a couple things else I want to tell you about this thing with percentages so you can just have a better understanding of some things. So watch this. We know, I think you have a better understanding what food cost percentage is, right? So we learned about the triangle, how to solve edible portion as purchased, and the percentage. Now, here's one of the importance of understanding how this works. Okay, so a lot of things that we do in our business is expressed in percentages. Okay, I think you're picking that up. Okay, so watch this. Even my waste, I want to record because if I pay for something by weight, by grams, by ounce, by the pound, right? And I have to trim something off. I still paid for that I trimmed off and going in the trash, right? Right. So I've got to be able to calculate actually also what I'm throwing out if I want a better look or wholly know what my business is doing. So, example, suppose someone's trimming something too much. Instead of it losing 20%, you've trimmed off 25%. Well, that doesn't seem much to you, but if I serve a lot of that, pennies do turn into dollars, right? Dollars into hundreds and hundreds. And so that's what you really have to look at. It's sort of like having a leaky faucet that keeps dripping. Eventually it gets on your nerves and it makes a mess. You need to get it fixed, right? So listen, that's one way we count percentages also. So now watch this. Since I was using a banana last week, I'll use a banana again. So remember, I buy the banana. I paid 29 cents a pound for the banana. So I peel off the peel. Then I have what I have left. But watch this though. I still paid in weight when I buy it by the pound or by the whatever. I mean, not the whatever, but by weight. When I peel something off to throw away, I've still paid for that. So in a way, I see money going out. But the real truth is now that banana was no longer 29 cents a pound, was it? Because I paid for the peel and the banana. By the time I peeled it off, that means I would have to get another banana to put with it, probably to make it to be the whole pound. So now, technically, I have more than the 29 cents in it. You get what I'm saying? So if my recipe called for a certain amount, right, my edible portion, that's what I would use in my recipe. Now, as we discussed before, I'd have to buy more knowing what my yield percentage was, right? Yield percent means, you guys, if you're not understanding that, when I trim it all up, how much I have left. So if I have a 80% yield, that means I'm going to lose 20% in trim or waste. Make sense? So now if I pay for that kind of stuff, I'm feeling a little salty or I feel a little funny about throwing my money away. So that's why a lot of stress sometimes happen in kitchens because the whoever's running that kitchen is counting money when they see people not working, wasting food. But what about this? What about stealing? That has something to do with cost control as well, okay? I can count this money and count this food and weigh this food, but also I got to watch food that slips out the door, don't I? Yeah, sneaks out the freezer. And watch this. We keep a waste sheet, you guys. Well, not we, but high-end restaurants will keep a waste sheet for their high-end items. Okay, watch this. Has anyone ever came through the hood or wherever you live or someplace and had steaks or lobster or this or that for sale? Right. So on the flip side of that, you got the hookup, but somebody else is crying because they're missing a case of something out of their freezer. Right? So whoever their food cost is getting ran out the window. Because when you pay for something and you can't sell it and make profit back, that's a total loss. Not only did you tie up your revenue, but that was potential lost profit out the door again. And also to make that profit again, you'd have to buy that again, right? So that's one of the things we control. We want to know, hey, You better get a new grill person. You know he had 4 sendbacks tonight. Well, that might not seem that much to some of you. Well, it's a busy night. 4 steaks coming back isn't bad. Yeah, but it's different when it's a $40, $50 steak. You see what I'm saying? So we record those type of things as well. And it just really makes a big difference with your bottom line, okay? So listen, I want to talk about this week, actually. Going into Thursday's your last day of class, okay? And on that, let me tell you what you're going to do. You're going to have to cost out a recipe like you did the first one. I think you guys have a better understanding how to do that, right? But, don't be mad, but you're going to have to fit it. I'm going to also have you calculate on certain items how much you will have to purchase, right? In order to execute that recipe. Then you're going to have to cost the recipe out. Okay, so it's really the stuff we've been working on. Now, there were 10 chapters to this book that covered a whole lot of things, but I would be remiss if you came out of this course and couldn't count money. That would not be a good look for us, okay? So that's why all your quizzes were self-driven by myself, to make sure you're able to understand that. Because like I said, a lot of you told me that you guys were going to be in your own businesses, start your own businesses. But I'm going to tell you something. In order to be in business, you've got to know these concepts, you guys, so you can be in business and stay in business. That's the key. If you're going to just work nilly-willy out your pocket and just, I don't really like your chances. Now, that's just me talking. What do I know, though? I'm just saying, it's just smart to know how to count your money. And the thing about it is, I bet you guys know how to count money pretty good. I bet you can count your money pretty good. So with that said, when you go in the workplace and we do this as a business, right, you gotta be able to count money. But not just count money. Money for us is labor, is food costs, prime costs, variable costs. You've learned this terminology, or you picked up on this terminology during this chapter, but knowing how to apply it and how it applies to you. Now, also, you guys, remember I told you this, and just I hope it comes to fruition, but listen, if in fact someone tells you what to do all day in the kitchen, the truth is, whoever's probably telling you what to do makes more money than you. And whoever's telling them what to do probably makes more than them. But guess who tells everybody, sort of runs this operation? Probably the person who has their thumb or finger on the numbers. Yeah, that's why it's so important to be well-rounded. And a lot of you, I told you this before, you're learning how to cook. At least I learned how to cook, you guys. So I didn't cook. For me, I said, money wasn't in cooking. It was on the management side, okay? Because think about it. When you can manage the operation, right? When you have goals, financial goals are met, companies pay you and give you bonuses for meeting expectations and goals. And what happens is, a lot of people, listen, not a lot of people, but folks depend on those bonuses. Sometimes they're hefty amounts of money depending on your performance. So remember, your performances are based off of how your business performs, how well it performs, or how awful it performs. Those decide some things. It decides whether you even still have a job if you're underperforming. Okay? It's important to know these things. So if you can't count money, you're in trouble. Okay? But I think we all understand that. Now, I did not expect you to come out of this course being math gurus on your own, right? But definitely wanted you to be able to calculate percentages and money and food costs and labor costs. And if you guys look back at that day one where I put those formulas, that page of formulas, at first it might have been a little bit overwhelming and daunting looking at that, like, oh my God, what is this? But as you go through the book, it actually makes sense. Oh, this minus this equals that. Or this is what we call that when I take this from this. Well, the same thing when we were using the percentage calculator, right? But just remember this, it works in three ways. I can calculate what I need to purchase, my as purchased. Give you an example. I've got a case of something. How much am I going to get out of that if I have to trim it? Well, I'm going to look it up, right? See what the yield percentage is for that food. And then I'm going to know, oh, I've got 30 pounds. Oh, the yield percentage is, and I'll go from there. I'll know what I'm able to get out of that. So that'll tell me what I'm able to produce off of what I have. It'll tell me what I need to purchase. And then it gives me that right bottom. When I solve this, when I do this triangle, it proves itself, by the way. But it also lets me calculate from a business perspective or record keeping my percentages and numbers, right? What percent my food cost is, what my labor cost is, what percentage my waste is. Tells you a whole lot of things, right? So watch this. Suppose you fire a bunch of people all year. You want to know what percentage your turnover was for the year. You see where this percentage, I can think of dozens of examples why you got to know how to calculate percentages, okay? One more thing I want to talk to you about. Okay, so this week we're going to cost out a recipe again, right? But then you're going to have to calculate, I'm going to have you calculate what some yields are, some edible portions you'll have to calculate, and as purchased. But like I said, it all works out of the triangle. And the interesting thing about the triangle, what I didn't tell you the other day, is that it proves itself. So let's just say you solve something, right? What you can do is take that same number you solved for and take another one, and whatever it does, that other end of the triangle, the math equals. So each point of the triangle proves itself with the math. So here you have a triangle, right? The top, if I take the top and left bottom, always give me the right bottom answer. Left and right bottom always gives me the top answer. Right and bottom right always gives me the left answer. So when I said it proves itself, no matter what math I do, it will always it will prove itself. I hope you understand that. Okay. Now, with that said, you guys know you do have a quiz today, and it is due by midnight tonight. I try to keep it as simple as I could just for you guys to get a working understanding of this, okay? So with that said, I will talk to you on tomorrow, and good luck, everybody.